Hello everyone.
Hello everybody.
And welcome to Kirsty and Bryony's Comfort Zone.
I am Kirsty.
And I am Bryony. And we're going to be listening to each other's dreams.
And figuring out what the heck is going on.
I think we've been doing pretty good with dreams this year. We seem to have like a good solid supply of dreams going.
Yeah, to be fair, I think a lot of mine were from when I was sick. And then I had a little bit of dream drought. But last night, they were coming in thick and fast. There were just dreams everywhere. They all merged together. Just dreams all over the shop.
I had that last night too. Like, I woke up in the middle of the night and then I fell back to sleep and I did like 2 separate recordings. It's not the ones I brought this week, so no spoilies for next week.
No spoilies.
I was like, do I record this as one big thing? Do I record this as 2 halves of like because they weren't like connected dreams or anything, but I was like, do I record it in the middle of the night when I woke up and just have Alex be like, what are you doing?
I think not last night, the night before as well was the same. I just had loads of dreams that were like mingled together, but were their own separate things as well. So I think my recordings were from that night. And I've tried to separate them, but they probably were the same dream at some point. I don't know. But yeah, there was just so much going on. So much.
Have you ever managed to successfully, like if you've woken up and you've had a nice dream and you're like, do you know what? I'm not done with that yet. Have you ever managed to fall asleep and go back into the same dream?
I have tried. I know for sure that I've tried. I don't know if I remember doing it successfully. I think I've tried and I've ended up in another dream. Or I've just been like, nope, I want to go into that dream and I'll sit there and I will imagine the rest of the dream. But I don't know if I've ever successfully done it. But I wish it worked like that.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you done that?
I swear I have done it a couple of times. I can't think of any specific examples, but there have been times where I've just been like, I don't feel done with this yet. I'm going back in.
See ya. I'm going back. Yeah, I've had dreams like that, like where they're really nice and you're like, oh, I was having such a good time. I was having a good adventure and I don't want to wake up yet. I'm going back. Goodbye.
Thankfully, I don't seem to get it where if I like wake up from a scary dream and then I go back to sleep, I don't think I tend to go back into that.
Yeah, I guess maybe because a part of you doesn't want to. Maybe it stops it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of scary dreams, I had a friend ask me this week, because I'm the resident dream expert now,
We're professionals.
We are professionals. I had a friend ask me if either me or you have ever had a dream where we got hurt in the dream and woke up and felt not pain per se, but felt something in the area that you would have been hurt.
Pain or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. Have you ever had that? I said I've never had that, but I wonder if Bryony has.
I don't think I have, no.
Yeah,
I've had times where I've woken up because I've actually just hurt myself. I remember a few weeks ago, I think Alex had got up for work and I had somehow, I don't know how I'd done this, I'd spun myself round because our bed, one of the sides, the pillows are against the wall. And I had somehow just spun myself around 90 degrees. So I was along the wall and then I rolled over and woke myself up because I hit my head on the wall. Which is like,
oh
what?
My God.
And I remember a time as well, there was a family holiday that we had in a caravan where in the bit I was staying in, the room I was in, the mattress was bigger than the bed. And it was on those super thin caravan beds as well.
Yeah. But with a normal mattress on it. Wait, it was thicker or thinner?
It was so the bed was just enough room to lie on, but the mattress was it had about 2 inches overhang, I would say.
Right.
So every morning I woke up because I would roll over and then the mattress would just tip up and I would fall onto the floor.
Oh my God.
But I guess that doesn't really count as phantom pain. That was just straight up pain.
Well, the thing is, I wonder if sometimes if you do wake up with like a phantom pain, if you have like hit yourself in your sleep, you know, because we've talked about like I've had dreams before that lead up to me waking up. Like I had the dream that I was being tickled, and then I woke up and my mum was tickling me. And I had a dream about like a siren going off, and I wake up and it's my alarm. You know, stuff like that. So I wonder if you dream that you get hurt and then you wake up and turns out, you have like bashed your head against a radiator or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because weirdly enough, the brain seems to know when stuff like that's going to happen. Like it's like you're sort of semi-conscious while you're sleeping, you know? It's like, oh, someone's walking into my room about to tickle me. Better dream about being tickled.
I have so many times in the last few months for some reason where I wake up convinced I've just heard the doorbell. And it's never been that the doorbell has gone off.
I've
it's just that I'm like, I'm pretty sure I heard it. And then I'll get up and I'll like get dressed. I'll go downstairs and I'll be like, I didn't hear the doorbell. It just seems to have become like a little soundtrack to my dreams now. Just bing bong. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I tell you what, I've had that before, but I've had the doorbell ring at like 8 a.m. when I'm still deep in sleep. And then at about 11, my brain will go, the doorbell just went. And I wake up and I'm like, why is nobody here? Oh, I missed a parcel at 8 a.m. Well, so maybe, you know, someone's knocking early.
I had that really confusing thing recently where, because for the first time in a very long time, because I used to, when I went to the vet, I would have to be up at like 6:30, and in wintertime, I'd wake up and it would still be dark.
Yes.
And you'd have that confusion of like, is it 2 a.m? Have I like been asleep for 10 minutes? Have I been asleep for 8 hours? Have I overslept? Sort of thing. And because I had to be up early for the first time in a very long time yesterday, it was still dark when I got up. And I had that thing again of just like, I have absolutely no concept of what the time is right now. It's so weird when you just genuinely can't tell, like if you've literally like blinked or nodded off for 2 minutes and woken up again, or if you've had a full 8 hours and you're just like, I just don't know. I'm like not in tune to this at all.
Oh, that reminds me of the time, which I think I've actually talked about before. We're doing the Triforce podcast thing where, hashtag ad, where they say, I think we've talked about this before, but have you ever had it where you lay down to go to bed, you close your eyes, and you open them and it's morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is
it's
the worst.
It's literally like in a film where it just cuts.
The worst. Yeah, literally. I've had that once. And it was on a school day. Oh, my God, it sucked. It was awful. I didn't feel rested. I was just like, where's my sleep? Where's my dreams? What happened?
Yeah.
It was so strange.
You saying about Triforce has reminded me. Someone told me they were listening to last week's episode, and it was the bit where I was talking about, I was like, I know I've talked about Trot's toilet, but let me talk about Trot's fridge. And I go on about his fridge. And then that's when the ad placement had come up, and it was for Hat Chat. So it started off like, hi, I'm Chris Trott. And they were like, oh my gosh, has he just had enough? And they've just put him in. He's like, put me in the podcast. I'm going to complain about it.
I'm here to talk about my fridge.
This is an official cease and desist. Can you stop talking about my household appliances?
That's perfect placement.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God, that's so good. Oh, goodness. So do you remember the contents of this dream that you have posted? In our little chat?
No.
Ooh.
Not at all. Oh, I think I remember having an old friend of mine in.
Okay.
I think because I dreamt about her again today. And I remember thinking, oh, twice in 1 week. So it must be about her now I think about it.
I think my dreams had... I can't remember the contents of the first one. But I think they both had...
In my accent, ant. But I guess to everyone else, odd. For sake of not confusion.
everyone listening, what we do is we post our dreams in our little Discord chat, so we can look at like the dates or the titles that the phone has given them. And my titles for today are Ant or Aunt and Dream, which doesn't narrow it down. And actually, Dream is the first one that we should listen to, because that was recorded earlier, and I believe I referred to it in the one after. So, but I think the reason that I refer to it is because of Nilesy, but I can't remember for sure.
Should we jump in with a dream?
Let's do it.
Dream.
Dream the dream.
Hello. So I had a dream. Well, Nilesy sent me a parcel in real life, and that wasn't a dream. And it has like sweets and stuff in it. But I had a dream that that he also sent me one in the dream. And I opened it, and it had a nice note in it that said like, "Oh, let me know if you got it. Is my number for games or whatever," which I already have, so you didn't have to do that. And it had stuff in it. So it had a crunchy chocolate bar. It had a big peach. It had like this red fruit that was kind of weird. It was kind of like a bell pepper, but it was a soft fruit. It had this huge purple thing that looked like a big... It was like slug shaped, but it was a fruit. It wasn't slimy, it was just the shape. And that was like... I wondered if it would be full of like, like artificial grape juice or something. It kind of looked like that. It had a tiny parsnip and a tiny carrot. And another chocolate bar, I think. So I lined it up and I took a picture, ready to show Nilesy that it got here. And the big purple thing, I took it out of the box, and it was kind of getting bigger every time I picked it up. And I was like, jeez, I'm not going to be able to fit it back in the box. And where my car was, I had to go over a bridge to get back to it or something. But there were men, they're building a bridge, and they were building it out of like wooden planks, and they were singing a bridge song about building a bridge. And they were very, very quick. So I waited until they were done. And then I dragged this big purple fruit over the bridge. And there was a pen there that they just built that they were going to put pigs in. And they took my fruit and they like turned it around and put a plank on like the flat end of it that had like a nice picture, like wood burned into it, something to do with the pigs or whatever. And they put it like alongside the gate. And I was like, oh, that's nice, but I need that fruit. So I just started opening the fence so I could get that fruit back. And I think that was it for that dream.
I think I might have dropped my phone halfway through the recording.
I was like, where did she go?
Where'd she go? She's gone tiny. Yeah, so it was a very short one, but with a big fruit.
That dream reminded me of an interaction I had the other week where I was talking to a friend. Said like, oh, I've never tried pomegranate, and I was like, oh, I really like pomegranate seeds, but I've never had like pomegranate. And they were like, what? And I'd never really seen a pomegranate. I'd seen the outside of one and I'd seen the seeds. And I was just like, so I just assumed it was like,
it had like a flesh.
Yeah, like it was like a watermelon or something. And there was like flesh, and then you took the seeds out and the seeds were really nice. And they were like, is this a joke you're doing? And I was like, no. And then they're like, it's all seeds. I was like, oh. I looked at the picture and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh
I think
God.
I vaguely knew that maybe, but I just assumed it wasn't just a bag of seeds.
Oh my God. It's like during Jingle Jam in December, we just kept having conversations with people about persimmons.
Oh yeah.
It started with the conversation with you about persimmons. Like, have you had a persimmon? Oh no. And then suddenly in the office, someone was like, I've never had a persimmon. And I'm like, well, let me tell you about persimmons. They are very delicious.
There just happened to be one in the fruit bowl, and I was like,
Yes,
oh my gosh, a persimmon. And Mango was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, you should try it. And I think she thought I was trying to trick her, and then eventually she did try it. And I was like, see?
They're pretty good. Oh my gosh. Yeah, then I think like other people came to the table and it was like, have you ever had a persimmon? It was like the fruit of the month.
Yeah.
But yeah, this big purple one, it didn't look very delicious. It looked like it tasted like grape, like fake grape.
Oh, okay.
And really, the parcel that Nazi sent me in real life is a lot nicer than the one he sent me in my dream. It was full of tablet, Scottish tablet, which is delicious.
Like fudge.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
so good. I have so much sugar now. I'm in heaven.
Oh my gosh, the other day we got given, I don't even know who it's from. I think it's someone in Alex's family, but he came back from home with like this massive thing of fudge. And I bit into a chunk of it, and I think I actually heard my teeth scream. Just like, why? It's like, oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
It's just such sugar.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and listening back to that dream, I have a feeling in the next dream, I know that I had a parcel, but the parcel kind of tapered off. And I forgot it was there. So I wonder if it's the same parcel in the dream. So we got a little dream sequel, little continuation.
Which
is pretty cool. Little cliffhanger. But yeah, I guess there's not much reason to this dream, I don't think. It's just I know that I had a parcel. The thing is, I think that morning the parcel arrived at about 9:00, and then I went back to sleep. And then I was dreaming that I had a parcel because I put it on the bed next to me and then just went to sleep. So the parcel energy seeped into my brain.
Had you opened the parcel at that point?
No. I promised Nazi that I'd open it on stream. But I did a sneaky little open just before the stream, just so that I made sure I didn't flash any addresses.
Oh, ladies.
But no, I hadn't opened it. So I was like, ooh, I want to open this mysterious parcel, even though I know what's inside.
So that's interesting you should say that, because I've looked up parcel in my book. And it says, when we receive a parcel in a dream, we are being made aware of something we have experienced but not explored. At this stage, we do not quite know what the potential of the gift is, but by exploration, we can find this out. So
it's very literal.
The experience you've not explored is a parcel.
It's opening the parcel.
And the potential gift of the parcel is the parcel.
Oh my god, you've cracked it. You're a genius. Is there a section for vegetables in there? Or fruit? Because there was a selection of vegetables and fruit in there. Vegetables.
There's like 2 more sections to the parcel bit. There's
oh my god.
If you're sending out a parcel, you're sending out energy into the world.
Oh.
Parcels and packages in dreams can also represent the gifts that one receives from others. Again, you had received a gift from others.
Almost like a parcel. Wow.
It can often be important to note who is actually giving us the gift. Well, it was the person who gave you a gift.
It was the person who sent me a gift. Nilesy of the Yogscast. Oh my goodness.
Vegetables. I'll look up vegetable on its own, but I'm guessing it's just going to say seafood.
Seafood. Yeah, true, actually. So yeah, it had the vegetables that were in there were
seafood and
the tiny carrot and the tiny parsnip. And then the rest of it was fruit. So there was the red one that looked like a bell pepper. That was a weird fruit. It was like bobbly on the outside. And when I say it was like a bell pepper, it was like hollow on the inside.
Yeah.
And it looked kind of terrifying.
Oh.
It looked a bit like a cacodemon from Doom, but without the eyeballs.
Caca? Like poo?
Caca? No,
It says-
Kako dim.
Oh. Vegetables. Sorry, I'm just going to turn back to the previous page because the two words that start this page before vegetables is sensual pleasure.
Uh-oh.
Sweets. Sweets, these tend to represent sensual pleasure. So there you go. That's the other
great.
half of your parcel.
Wonderful.
Vegetables represent our basic needs and material satisfaction. They also suggest the goodness we can take from the earth and situations around us. The colour may also be important.
They were a bit pallid.
Oh.
They looked a bit anemic.
Did you say one of them was purple?
One of the fruits was purple.
Oh, should I look up fruit as well?
Mmm.
Fruit. Representing dream form, the fruits of our experience or effort, and the potential for prosperity. The colour can also be significant. It really wants me to look up colour. It's just
Well,
bunch of
purple was a
colour.
big colour in this dream. So if there's a section for purple.
Purple. There's violet,
Yeah, it works.
but no purple. This colour, while found by some to be too strong, means nobility, respect, and hope. Its purpose is to uplift. Well, there you go. Nowsy was trying to uplift you because
Aww.
he respects you, your nobility.
Well, that sounds accurate. I'm very noble. I mean, that works. That works. That's hilarious how much that works. Just in terms of, getting a parcel to uplift you, because it kind of does, Everyone loves receiving a parcel.
Post is exciting.
Exactly. I love getting post. And the fact that it was full of sugar, that's uplifting me into a painful sugar high. Absolutely full of sugar. So the contents of the actual parcel were 4 bags of tablet popcorn, 4 bags,
Oh my god.
4 bars of tablet, a stick of hot cross bun flavour fudge,
Ooh.
and a box of whiskey tablet. So basically just lots
Sugar.
of sugar.
Different flavours of sugar.
Yes. And I'm so grateful. I love tablets so much. Every time anyone goes to Scotland or comes down from Scotland, I'm like, bring me tablet. Bring me tablet.
Aw.
So I was very grateful. That was very nice of Nilesy. And I had a lovely dream about a big purple fruit as a result. So thank you.
Make of
Thank
that
you for
one what you will.
Thank you for the content. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it was just being happy that I got some post, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was the little pig pen too in the dream, but there were no pigs in it.
Oh.
But it was
Maybe
meant
that was
to have
about
pigs in it.
Minecraft. Because we have been talking about getting
Probably.
animal friends. in
Honestly,
Minecraft.
I think that the bridge was to do with Minecraft as well, because they were building this bridge with planks. Not like Minecraft block planks, but just planks. And they were also singing a bridge song, like you playing video games. Like when you're chopping and played up, going, choppy, choppy, chop. They were literally being like, bridgey, 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 bridge. And it was just you all over. So I reckon Minecraft / Play Up definitely played a role in that.
Nice. You reckon Rithian will be recovered for the next session of
No.
Minecraft?
No. Definitely not. But he's going to have to deal with it.
He knows what he signed up for.
Exactly.
Next time we get Rithian on, he's just going to be like, I had this dream. It was just chaos. There was all these things I couldn't control. Everything was on fire. I had these babies. I kept losing them. They ran off on their own. It would be like, oh, it could be about anything. I don't know.
What could this possibly be about? Oh my goodness. Wow. Should we have a little listen to the next dream?
Yeah.
Should we listen to your dream? Have a little dream sandwich?
Yeah, I like being a little cozy dream filling.
To be the filling. Delicious.
Okay.
I had a dream that
I was meant to be going on holiday with an old friend of mine who I've not seen in years, and we were at the airport, but like stuff just kept going wrong. Like there's this guy that went by who I was gonna help to. I can't remember. He went up this big escalator and it dropped his pen. So I just ran after him to give him his pen back. And then when I got back, my friend had gone and all my luggage had gone. And I was like, what? And then I was like looking under the escalator because there was loads of luggage there that people had just thrown under there. And then she came back and she was like, okay, are you ready to go? And I was like, oh no, I forgot my passport. And I was like, it's back home in Bristol. Like, I know exactly where it is in my house, but it's in Bristol. And then I was like, well, I guess I can't go then. And she was like, because I had realised that I hadn't even booked a flight. And she was like, I've changed the flight to first class if you don't mind. And I was like, wait.
Oh, it's gone silent.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The rest of it, I think the file was just corrupted on my phone.
Oh my god. Well, we'll have to just decipher the first part then.
Okay, well, I do actually, having listened to it, I do remember what happened in the rest of it.
Oh, good. You can regale us.
So, after that, I remember her saying, like, I've upgraded the flight to first class. And I was like, oh, did you book my flight? And she was like, no. I was like, oh. And then this other lady came across and just like sat in between us and was like, you must have a passport because you wouldn't be allowed to have a house if you didn't have a passport. And I was like, I know that. My passport is in my house. And she just kept on like trying to butt in and make suggestions. And I was just like, can you just stop? And then I remember the dream cut to be in a completely different area. And I was in a swimming pool and I think I had a role on, do you know the Australian kids TV show Bluey?
No, but what's it about?
It's basically like, it's this family of 4 dogs and the oldest daughter is called Bluey. Okay. And it's like, it's really funny. It's a really good TV show. Even if you're an adult, it's just great. There's like, my favorite episode is this one called Grannies, where her and her sister go around pretending to be grannies and they just be like, oh, hi, Rita, have you got any beans? Oh, no, I couldn't find my beans, Janet. And all of this stuff.
Oh, my
it's just
God.
really good. And I had a dream that like I was in a swimming pool and I had this like Bluey puppet on my hand. And then all these kids came over and they had all these like, their puppets were like cheap knockoff ones, and it was like AI versions of Bluey puppets. And I was like trying to be encouraging, just like, oh, it's fine, you didn't buy the actual merch, that's fine. Like, it's more about the kids loving the show, sort of thing. But yeah, then I woke up. I don't know what happened to that file, but that's pretty much what I remember of the rest of it. Because the reason I remember it so well is because I remember as soon as I woke up, I knew exactly what this dream meant. And I was like, oh, this is a harsh reality to be faced with the first thing in the morning. But my old friend, she's recently, I mean, she's had a baby now. She was still pregante at time of recording, but she's had the baby. She's basically like, do you have that friend that you grew up with who was always like, everyone preferred them, they were always like cooler than you? Yes. It was like, that's who this person was for me. She's a year and 8 days older, but she was always like she would always introduce me to music because she knew all the bands, the new bands, and she would always be like dyeing her hair and changing up her look. And literally for like years when I was growing up, all of my friends were basically the people who she had hung out with and then got bored of, and then they would just be like, well, I guess I'll hang out with you now. I was just like the consolation prize for the end of the friendship. So she recently like had a baby, and she was being like, because I think like whether I want to start a family has been on my mind. I think that's just a thing that happens in your mid-30s when you're just like, I don't feel like an adult. Do I do this? And I think all I see of her now is like the photos on Instagram, and she's got like the perfect baby room set up, and it's the Instagram stuff. It's not the real life stuff.
Yes, not real life, just Instagram.
But because that's all I see, I think in the dream it was just this representation of like, she was like organized. She had everything packed in like nice suitcases. She'd booked her first class flight, and I was just like, I don't even know where my passport is, and just an absolute mess. And I think it's literally just that. And I know that the woman who came over and started just chatting to us, I hate to say it, but I think she represented chat. Because sometimes they make suggestions and you're just like, up. Just give me 5 seconds.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And I woke up and I was recording it, and as I was saying the words, I was like, oh, I just know exactly what this is about. I don't know why I think my brain just having sort of like tried to shake me in with this dream was then just like, okay, now you can just chill out in a swimming pool with Bluey if you like. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh.
I don't know
but
what that
also,
was about.
a swimming pool is a body of water.
Oh no. I didn't get to go on holiday, but I got to be in anxiety.
No. Oh, I guess it's that like inherent fear, because like starting a family is a big step, and I guess it would be like, oh my God, there's so much that could go wrong. This person seems to be doing it perfectly, they're always perfect, blah blah blah. And there's always that worry, right, where you'll be like, what if I'm not like that? Oh my God, what if it's a mess? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And that seems like a classic thing to pop up in a dream, for sure.
I think like it's just the social medias as well, because like obviously like our friendship group is a lot of it's content creators, so a lot of them have very like big social presences. And whereas knowing like, obviously a lot of our friends are very open about, different things to do with mental health and anxiety and various things like that. But then you still fall for the thing where you look at the Instagrams and you go like, oh, their life is just perfect. You're like, no, I know them as a person. I know, the fights that they have to endure, sort of thing. But it's
exactly, it's so hard to disconnect.
Yeah, to just be like,
sure.
Oh, everything.
And when it's someone you don't really, exactly, when it's someone you don't talk to much anymore as well, you're like, oh, they seem to be doing really well. Oh my God, my life is a mess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Absolutely.
I think it's just like, I think as well, but the thing with like growing up being such a close age, like, because our birthdays, like I said, are like 8 days apart, but different years. And I think that always gave me a thing of like, whenever she achieved something, part of my brain then, and even now apparently, would just be like, okay, I've got a year to do that because I need to be on track, sort of thing. And I think it's just like, as soon as she got pregnant, I was just like, okay, I've got a year.
No.
I've got to learn how to be responsible now. We're starting a family. It's just weird how, like, I don't know, there's these things that you just sort of assume that, feelings from your formative years that you assume that you grow out of as an adult, but it's just so quick to have them set back as soon as like it's like if you grew up with someone who had a way of irritating you or something, and you'd be like, that years ago, and then you see them and you're just like, no, it's still there.
Oh, I remember now. I've always thought, like, there were a lot of people that, like, I stopped talking to or fell out with during school, because there's always drama, isn't there? There's always drama when you're a teenager. And there are some now that I kind of would like to just run into them, because I feel like we both, I don't know, might have grown up a bit and just be like, lol, that was dumb.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't know if that's going to be the case. It's so strange. Like, it's so bizarre. I remember there was this one girl at school, and we were best pals in like year 10, so we were 15. And she started going out with a boy who was just a pal of mine. And this boy, he really liked me when we were 11. And he asked me out when we were 11. And it never really went anywhere because we were 11. It was like, no, I don't want a boyfriend. Boys are stinky. But then when we became 15, 16, this girl was like, wow, you're basically an ex of his, and I can't talk to you anymore.
What?
And I'm like, what? I wouldn't even let him come near me. So, like, I wonder what it would be like if we ran into each other now. I feel like it would be just hilarious.
It's just so dumb, that stuff. Like there's times when I remember people, and you remember them as if they made adult choices when really at the time they were just being dumb kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me thinks, like, there's probably people out there who probably think of me that way, because I think you remember being slighted, but you don't remember the dumb stuff that you did to other people. There's probably people out there that just like, oh, I hate that Bridie, she did this, blah, 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 blah. And I'd probably be like, oh, sorry. Like, if
did I? Whoops.
I have no memory of this.
Exactly.
It's a weird time, that time of your
so
life
weird
as well.
My mum was saying to me the other day that her old friends from school were organising a reunion. And she was like, I don't want to go to that. I don't want to see anyone I went to school with. I'm not interested. Because there's always that fear as well, like you'll go and it'll be like, oh, that guy's a millionaire now. That guy's doing this. That person is married to so-and-so. And it's like, man, nah.
Yeah.
I can't be asked. Like, if my school did a reunion right now, I'd be like, nah.
I think I might be, like, tempted to go just out of, like, pure curiosity. Because to be honest, I don't really remember most of the people in my year.
Yeah.
I don't think I really paid attention to any of them. Like, I sort of vaguely recognized them. We had, like, we used to take big school photos of, like, the entire, like, everyone who was at the school. And then you get these, like, massive long photos that you take home with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I vaguely recognize the people in it to look at, but I'm like, I don't remember any of their names. I remember, like, 5 people's names from my year.
Yeah. Like, I
just
remember
didn't pay attention.
when, like, Facebook started coming out as a thing, I remembered everyone's names from junior school, and I found them all, and I was like, oh my god, we were friends when we were like 8. Oh, could we like add each other on Facebook? And now I'd be like, who are you?
See,
like,
weirdly,
the 30s brain is kicking in. Not that I'm 30 yet, but give it a couple of weeks, and I just don't remember anyone.
I remember the people from my primary school more than my secondary school. I think
honestly,
because,
yeah,
like,
I do as well.
You're such a tight-knit group in primary school. Like, all of your birthday parties are pretty much like, just invite the people from school, because those are literally the only humans you ever know in your life, because it's not like you have a social circle at that age.
Exactly.
Whereas I guess when you're in secondary school, you like branch out a bit.
Yeah, and like the schools are a lot bigger, the classes are a lot bigger. And there's a bit more of a disconnect, isn't there? Like, I think in junior school we had like, I want to say like 3 or 4 classes to each year. And the years were mixed as well. So 3 and 4 were together and 5 and 6 were together. So it was very sort of small and tight knit, and you kind of knew more people in your class. Whereas in secondary school, I think we had 6 classes to a year. And that was kind of split in half when it came to classes. Like, there were 3 classes that would sort of end up on the same schedule, and then there were 3 that were off doing something else completely. So there was just a big group of people that you did not know.
Yeah.
And then like half of them leave when you hit 16, and you just forget everyone's names.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think saying that, if there was a reunion, I think I'd hit up my old friends. Like, I have a couple of friends who, you know, we don't talk regularly, but I know they're my mates. And if I messaged them and said, oh, there's a reunion, do you want to go? If they said yes, I'd be like, all right, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
But I think I wouldn't go on my own because I'm just too awkward. I'd be like, nah, I'll just stay at home.
I remember I think I supposedly, you know, went out with a guy from my year, and I don't even remember his name. It was one of those things that it was like year 7 or something. And all I remember of it is someone was like, so if you're boyfriend and girlfriend, why don't you kiss? And I literally was like so panicked by the concept that he was like a foot shorter than me. I was so tall and he was so tiny. And I literally just like kissed him on the top of the head and then ran away. And then I think we didn't talk ever again.
Oh my gosh.
I assume he understands that it's ended now.
I had a similar thing when I was like 11. There was this boy and, you know, he asked me out and I was like, okay. And I think I never even, I barely went near him. And I think I gave him a hug like once and I was like, ugh. And then he was like, so when are we going to do the K word, which means kissing? And I was like, never. Oh my God, being a kid is awful.
Yeah. I remember the first time I ever held hands with a boy.
Oh my God.
I was like on this, it was like an adventure holiday. It was like a school trip, but it wasn't for school. It was just like a group of kids. My friend was going on it. So then her parents asked my parents if I could go too. So we went. It was somewhere in Wales, I think. All I remember is I threw up on my trousers in the car on the way there and I had to change them.
Is that
by the
because
side
you
of the
held
road.
hands?
No, this was on the way there. I didn't even know what romance would await me when I got there. But it was, you would do stuff like bouldering and rock climbing and all of that stuff. And in one of the things we went into a cave and at one point they were like, okay, everyone turn off your torches and you'll see what like pitch black is like, sort of thing. And everyone turned off their torches and it was pitch black and I just felt this hand in my hand. And then they were like, okay, turn them back on again. And he just like ran off, just like, and I was like, oh. He might have thought I was someone else, to be fair. It was pitch black.
She ran off because she was like, oh no, wrong hand.
I remember in like the dorm that night, my friend was like, what was it like? I was like, oh, it was like a hand.
It was like someone holding my hand. Wow.
The dream.
Oh my goodness.
Dear, dear.
Oh dear.
Well,
Bloody
shall
hell.
we listen to your second dream?
Yes.
Your aunt
Let's do it.
/aunt.
Aunt.
So, I had a lot of dreams that were all mingled together last night, but part of one of them was that I was in a car with a girl and my great aunt. And my aunt was driving and we were like in an area like sort of near the seaside, so there were a lot of rivers and bridges and stuff. We had something to deliver. I don't know what. I have a feeling it was the parcel that Nazi sent me from the other dream, but maybe not. So we're driving, we're on a normal road, and then we turn right, and suddenly we're driving over water. So the water's quite shallow at this point. And we're like, oh my God, what are you doing? Why are you driving here? And she was like, this is the quick way, this is the way to go. And we're like, what? You're insane. So this road, it does actually run under the river. So eventually it like goes up a little bit so we can see it. We go over a bridge or two. And then it starts getting like a roller coaster. Like she's driving really fast up these like little ramps. And we are terrified. And like all the time she's like, these roads are bloody terrible. And it's like, yeah, they're we're not even roads. We're just in a river. We're just in the sea. And then we finally go over another ramp, and like we go up in the air, and we can see the road below us. It sort of goes forward a bit, bends to the right, and then bends back left. So it's not like a straight runway to catch us from our fall. So we land, skid, and then go off the right hand side of the road into the water, and we sink down into the sea, which is all blue. And we're like, we need to get out. So the girl I'm with, she sort of passed out, and me and my aunt managed to sort of swim out. And I'm like, we need to save so and so. We need to save the girl. And my aunt's like, nah, she's probably dead already. Nah, see ya, and she leaves. And I'm just floating there, like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, I need to breathe. I don't know what to do. And then suddenly I hear a car coming, and another car runs off of the road into the sea, and a man with brown hair and a fishman come out of the car. And I'm like, oh, you're a bit interesting, aren't you? And they're like, they say something sassy. I don't know what, but they say something sassy. And at that point, I completely forget about the girl in the car, and I'm like, I'm gonna go with these people. So I just swim off with them. And then I end up on a beach. And this is where it starts to get fuzzy, but basically the whole thing was that I had gone back in time, and the man that was with the fishman rescued my friend who was the girl, and then they ended up having a baby, but turns out the baby is me. So I was there for that when they met. I think there might have been a part in the dream that maybe I was the man that was with the fish man. I don't know. It was very confusing. But I lived. And she lived too, luckily. The end. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
What a tale.
What a tale. Yeah, that was a pretty wild one.
Parts of it sound absolutely terrifying.
Oh god, yeah, the bit in the car, like, it felt really real.
Yeah.
Like, we were going really fast and you could feel it. It was like, oh god, it's too fast, like me. And then when we flew up in the air, I looked down and kind of like, the railway in Spirited Away when it's all flooded.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like that. Like, the road was at that depth, kind of. And I could see the road below me, and it was like, we're not going to be able to land. We're not going to be able to land. And we landed and just skidded off. And then suddenly it was the ocean. And it was all blue and horrible. And like, I lately, I think because Nilesy's been playing Subnautica, and partially in Minecraft as well, I've noticed more of my thalassophobia.
Oh no.
Because I don't have much contact with the ocean, but I do have contact with video games, and video games often make it clear to me that I do have thalassophobia.
Yeah.
Because even just the sight of the ocean, it makes my heart start like pounding. I'm like, oh no. Like, I'll happily go into the ocean, but it's the thought of looking down and seeing endless blue.
Yeah.
That is what gets me. Like when I'm playing Subnautica, if I'm underwater and I can see the ground, I'm fine. If I'm above water and I don't know what's below me, I'm like, and then if I look under and I can't see the ground and it's just blue, it's panic time. And when we were playing Minecraft the other week, I went for a little swim because I was looking for sunken ships. And I got to a part where it was particularly deep and I was like, So I think like this is just in my brain at the moment, and my brain decided to throw in some ocean. Yeah. And it was very blue, and you couldn't see the bottom really. It was kind of like a drop off. So where the car was going in, there was ground beneath us, but then there was a drop off.
Yeah.
And that's where the car went. And that was I was less terrified about being in a car that was underwater and more terrified about the fact that I was underwater. It was like, oh no, the ocean. Ugh.
I get that, like,
yeah,
genuine fear that if I'm being driven over a bridge that's going over water, I just worry that the driver is just going to get the call of the void and just go off the bridge.
Just drive off. Yeah. Yeah, no, like... that was another thing. Like, in this dream, there were bridges everywhere. And a lot of them were very, like, fragmented. So it was almost like they were ramps. So, like, you drive over a bit and then you'd have to take to the air and then land on the next bit sort of thing.
This is like your third dream about bridges.
I know, I'm having a lot of bridge dreams, aren't I?
Yeah.
Weird. But the thing is as well, we were taking this horrible route through the water on this submerged road. But there was a bridge alongside us the whole time. But my great aunt was like, no, this is the fast way. And it's like, it's only fast because you're speeding. And now we're sinking. So yeah, it was pretty spooky.
To connect the things, right? So bridge, we looked it up last time, I think, and it's about like the transition between one phase of life and another. So I looked up speed, and it says traveling at speed suggests trying to achieve a fast result. It suggests being too focused on an end result and not the method of getting there. So is there something you're very keen to do, which is like a life bridge you're trying to cross and you're just eager to get there? Like, at what cost?
Well, it's not very costly, but I want to do more like YouTube stuff. And there are some skills that I want to try and develop, like editing and stuff. But the cost will be time. But other than that, not really. I guess like there's always the thing in the back of my mind of moving like to Bristol, but there's a big barrier there because I part own my flat and I'd have to sell it.
Yeah.
And that's and the state of the country, I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
And so there's like a not so much a bridge, more just a barrier. So I guess the fact that there's a big gap in the bridge makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's like a bridge that you cannot cross.
I cannot cross it, and if I do, I sink into the ocean.
Oh my gosh. It also says,
my goodness.
Speed in dreams identifies an intensity of feelings which is not usually available in waking life. Because everything is happening too quickly, it engenders anxiety in the dreamer, which creates problems.
Uh-oh.
Yay.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, that makes sense because we were going very fast and it was very anxiety inducing, and then we drove off the road. So, yeah. Not great, all in all. It wasn't like an inherently scary dream, but I guess there were just a lot of things in there that were like, oh, this isn't very nice.
Yeah.
And then there was the plot twist at the end, which is quite cool. And the fish man. Yeah, can't forget the fish man.
Good old
He
fish
was like, he was like a man in a suit, but he had a fish head. But like, not like just a head of a fish. Like his head was a fish on a neck.
Like an entire fish.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty cool.
I don't know if that's in the book.
Fishman.
The man with the head of an entire fish.
Is fish in the book?
There's fish and also fisherman. Blaze. Dreaming of fish connects with our emotional side of ourselves, but more our ability to be wise without being strategic. We can often simply respond instinctively to what is going on without needing to analyze it. What?
Well, I think I would instinctively react if I was in a sinking car.
Yeah. I always think, like, I remember seeing a thing once that was, if ever you are in a car that is sinking in water, you're meant to you're meant to slowly open the windows and let it submerge before you try and get out. Because if you just try and get out, the force of the water will push you back in.
Yeah, I heard that.
And it's one of those things.
The problem is with electric windows.
Oh, yeah.
There's always that chance the windows won't open.
Well, I saw Sarah Millican had a little tool on the latest series of Taskmaster that is like a thing that it had like a little blade for cutting your seatbelt off and then a little thing for smashing your windows. And it's for that exact situation. So maybe...
Kind of like the little spiked hammer you see in coaches for the windows.
Yes, it was like that, but in the handle was like a little like blade for seatbelts.
I like that. I feel like after this stream, I might need to invest in one.
Yeah. But that's genuinely just like, I hate whenever it happens in like a TV show or a movie, if someone drives into water, that's like a big nope. I hate that.
Yeah. The thing is as well, this did actually happen in a TV show I've been watching lately. So I wonder that might have influenced it. It happened a little while ago though. But the thing is, I have been binge watching the show since Christmas. So I've absorbed 8 seasons of it very quickly.
8 seasons?
Yeah.
You're going to say like 8 episodes. No.
8 seasons.
Blimey.
Oh dear. But yeah, there was an episode where people they drove off I guess a harbour and went into the water. So yeah, it was very similar. But no big bridge ramps in that.
Oh geez.
Yeah. Spooky.
Very spooky. But you know, you got to do a bit of time travel and
I did, yeah. I got to meet my parents, ? They weren't my parents, but apparently they were in the dream. It was a weird one. And the parcel that I was carrying at the beginning just disappeared. I think it was in the car when we sank.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I need to rescue the girl. I need to get the parcel. And then I did neither.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, I'll just leave with the fish man.
Fish daddy.
Fish daddy.
I wonder if your brain just got to a point where it was like, hang on, we've been a bit full on. Maybe we should lighten the tone a bit.
just stick a fish in there and get out.
Yeah. Just rummaging around in the extra dream box. Like, what have we got? We got the head of a fish, right? Put that on there. Okay, here we go.
Yep, shove that in there.
Time travel, right. We're good to go.
But honestly, going back to bridges, the bridge that I dreamt about in the school dream in the other episode, it was the same. It had a big gap in it.
Yeah.
Which we drove off of. So I don't know. There's just something about dreaming about bridges with big gaps in. I don't know why.
I mean, to me,
I guess
it
like
really seems like something you want to move forward with, and something is stopping you. I think it could be like your house. It could be just like you say, like the frustrating thing about learning to edit is, like you say, it just takes time, and it's something you're like, there's only so much you can put into it. It's still just going to take time, sort of thing. Like I get very frustrated when I was trying to learn editing. I'll just be like, I just want to do this. I just want to do it. And Alex would be like,
I just want to do it.
Just look up a tutorial. And I would find myself like, I'd load up a tutorial and then I'd be like clipping through it, like flicking through, just like, where's the bit that and I was just like, if I just took the time to just watch the video, I would learn it. But I spend twice as much time
I just want to do it quickly.
jumping back and forth on a video trying to find out what I'm going to do. So
exactly. Like, I think that's kind of, it makes sense for a lot of things. Like, I find I'm not very confident, and if I do something, I want to do it right. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and if I can't do it right, I tend to just give up.
Yeah.
and like that makes a lot of sense with the bridge and just like the big gap. It's like, oh, I can't do this. Well, that's it then. Like, I just put it out of my brain. Like, I think, oh, I want to move. I have to sell my flat. That's effort. I'm not going to think about that.
Yeah.
Put that in a drawer somewhere in my brain. I want to edit. I did some editing and it wasn't very good. Guess I can't do it. Time to stop.
Yeah. It's like, I even get with like, if I load up a video game, if the tutorial isn't done in the right way for me, I'll just give up on the game. I'll be like, don't tell me what to do. And then I'll stop.
Yeah, for sure. I find that streaming helps a lot with trying to push through with a game because, I have chat helping me and I don't want to be like, wow, I don't understand this. I want to stop right now, which I would do if I was playing on my own. Like if there are a lot of people in chat who like really like the game, for instance, they'll be like, oh, you just need to do this, this, this. And I'm like, if I stop, they're going to be really sad.
Yeah.
It's like with XCOM. When I first launched XCOM, I was like, this is a lot. There's so much stuff happening here. But now, because I've pushed through and I've kind of learned how to play, I love it. It's so good. And I'm glad that I did. But I'm having the same sort of issue with Rainbow Six Siege right now. So we're playing Siege at night on Discord every now and then. And I'm garbage at that game. I'm so bad. And I feel awful that when people are like, oh, well, should we play Siege? I'm like, I'll play Siege. And I feel like they're probably like, oh, no. Oh, no, Kirsty's playing. Because I was just so bad. Like, with games like that, I remember in PUBG, I was like it. Just games that are shooters that are slow and calculated. You have to think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not good at them because I find myself looking around like, where am I going? And then when someone pops up that I have to shoot, I just go, ah! So everyone knows when there's an enemy because I just scream. Sorry, everyone.
I have like
they scared me
in between with those sorts of games. I'm either like, I'm going to hide the entire time, or I'm bored now, I'm going to run in. There's no middle ground strategy.
Exactly. But like, I could either do as the bridge with the big gap in it says and give up, or I can try and soldier on at the cost of everyone else's MMR.
That's what friends are for.
Exactly. But yeah, oh my gosh. I think I just need to build my own bridge.
Yeah.
And get over it.
It is one of the toughest things to do, I think, is like just being kind to yourself and persevering with things. But it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Well, we've been mumbling for a while now. We should probably stop.
Well.
But yeah.
Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed our brain movies.
Our problems.
Our problems, yeah.
Well,
tune in next week for more anxiety.
Yay!
Woohoo! Yay!
Thank you, Kirsty. It's been lovely as always.
Thank you, Bryony, my love.
And thank you everyone for listening. Until next time, bye bye for now. Bye bye.
Bye bye for now. Bye bye.